your Bibles and keep them in front of you. We are reading some verses now and then from this Matthew's chapter. This is the Sermon on the Mount, what Jesus has told. Chapter 5, 6, and 7 are called the Sermon on the Mount. Very important, crucial aspects Jesus Christ is sharing his disciples on the Sermon on the Mount. So in 19 verse onwards, we can see three observations. One is he is talking about two places, and the second observation is he is talking about two hearts or two minds, and the third one is two masters. He is telling. So one thing is he's talking about two places, and the second thing is about two hearts, and the third thing is two masters. So what are those two places Jesus Christ is talking about? One is earth and the other is heaven. In the 19th verse, you can see that earth and heaven. He is telling, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth. So the first place Jesus Christ is talking about money matters and treasures or anything. The first place is here on this earth. Now we are living on this earth, and in this earth, how we should think about money and all these things. So he is telling, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on this earth. And the second place is heaven. He is talking about heaven, 20th verse. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. So in the first part, the two places he is talking about earth and heaven. Our attitude should be, we have to lay up our money, our treasures and all those things in heaven only. We can earn money here, but our attitude should be to accumulate wealth or money or treasure. That is, we have to accumulate it and lay up our treasures in heaven. So that is the first thing we have to think and we have to learn. Our attitude should be, we have to lay up our treasures in heaven, not on earth. So being rich is not sinful. In the Bible, we see from the beginning, Abraham or Job or Solomon, David, so many people, God's children, they are all very rich people. So being rich is not sinful, but our attitude, why we want to become rich, why we want to accumulate wealth on this earth, that attitude, our motive should be very careful. That is one thing we have to. Being rich is not sinful. And the second is, accumulation of treasure on earth is a loss. According to Jesus, accumulating this money and this treasures, wealth, all these things on earth is a loss. And accumulation of treasure in heaven is a profit. It's a profitable thing. That is what Jesus is teaching us. So many times we accumulate, we earn money to keep it for ourselves on this earth, for us, for our children, for our family, for our luxuries, for our so many needs and all these things. That is, God will provide everything. He will give everything for us, whatever we need. But extra amount accumulating, that is not God's will and that is not biblical. So that is what in this 19th verse and 20th verse Jesus Christ is telling. So three aspects. Being rich is not sinful, and accumulation of treasure on earth is a loss, and accumulation of treasure in heaven is profitable. That we should keep on in our minds. So with what motive we want to become rich, or with what motive we want to earn the money, that we have to think. So that is what Jesus is telling. Do not lay up for yourselves these treasures on earth. But here what the problem is, the moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. That is the problem if we accumulate our wealth or treasures in heaven. Even if we keep in a bank or anything, any locker, whatever we earn, or gold or anything, that will all perish. That is what Jesus is telling. So we have to accumulate treasure. Then we will see in the next how we can accumulate the treasures in heaven. So the second thing is we have to learn is how we can earn money in God's way. In this world, there are so many ways to earn money, to gain money. But we have to earn the money or the treasures in God's way. That is very, very important. In Luke chapter 19 and verse 15, if we see there Jesus Christ, so many references are there that all after this you can go home and you can read all those verses. In Luke 19 and 15th verse, Jesus is telling, yes, I am reading, and so it was that when he returned, having received the kingdom, he then commanded these servants to whom he had given the money to be called to him, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. So by trading, we can earn the amount, the money. By business, we can do business, we can trade. That is all in an ethical way, in God's way, we can earn money. And there are so many other things. If we are working in a company or in a government field and anything, we can get the salary. By hard working, we can earn the amount. We can use our ability, we can use our wisdom, our prudence, our planning, savings, and everything with our skill, with our intelligence, we can earn money. That is God's way. So in 1 Timothy 6th chapter, these verses we should read. Please, I request all our brothers to open to the epistle of Paul to Timothy, first epistle, 6th chapter, 17 to 19 verses. Just I am reading those verses, and this is in Amplified Version. As for the rich in this world, charge them not to be proud and arrogant and contemptuous of others, nor to set their hopes on uncertain riches, but on God, who richly and ceaselessly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. And the 18th verse says, charge them to do good, to be rich in good works, to be liberal and generous of heart, ready to share with others. And the 19th verse, Paul is telling, in this way, laying up for themselves the riches that endure forever, as a good foundation for the future, and that they may grasp that which is life indeed. So Paul is exhorting the believers and through Timothy how our attitude should be, how we should use our treasures, and the main thing he is emphasizing is for others, for others. So whatever we earn by trading or by business or with our skills, ability, hard work, our wisdom, anything, everything is for the kingdom of God, for others only. We should not be proud or arrogant. That all things we have to learn. So earning the money in God's way is always appreciated by our God. So here in this world, there are so many unethical ways. So much of corruption is there, so much of bribing is there. so much waste, so much of illegal business like that. So many things, so many people are earning money, and in churches, some churches also, they take the bribes and they come and they give the offering in the church that God has given that something. So it's all unbiblical, and God's way is not that. So that we should learn. The first aspect in this is two places are there. One is earth and the other is heaven. And our motive, our attitude should be how we are accumulating our wealth, our money, on earth or in heaven. That we should think. Then the second thing is we should think is two places first we have seen, and the second aspect is telling two hearts or two minds from 21 verse. So 19 and 20 verses we are seeing two places, and 21 to 23 there are two hearts. One is, for where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. That is the 21st verse in Matthew 6 chapter. So he is giving us an example in a metaphorical way. Christ is telling us, and he is illustrating with a lamp. The body is the eye. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? So there is a unsound heart, unsound thing is there, and the sound mind is there. So the lamp of the body is the eye. Here eye means our mind, our heart, our attitude. The generous heart, that is light, and the ungenerous heart is the darkness. That is what here Christ is explaining us. Our God is a God who gives liberally, generously. So that same heart, same mind we should inculcate. In James we know that verse in the first chapter, 5th verse, God is telling he will give wisdom to those who ask him liberally, generously, benevolent, the word is used there. So that is the eye, that is the with light, without darkness, we have to give to God. The evil eye, the covetous eye, that is all from Satan. So the generous, the liberal heart, which is light, that we should inculcate in our hearts regarding money and giving to God. There are so many references here or there. One verse is Proverbs 28 and verse 22. We can read Proverbs 28, the 22nd verse. If we read, here he is telling, a man with an evil eye hastens after riches and does not consider that poverty will come upon him. Here, a man with an evil eye. So that is what Jesus Christ is talking about, this eye, in this Matthew 6th chapter. So an evil eye means a stingy fellow, a greedy fellow. He is not liberal, he is not generous, he is not willing to give, he is not benevolent. So a man with an evil eye, he hastens after riches. So that is what Jesus Christ is telling. So there are so many examples, so many references about stinginess and this greedy heart, which is very covetous and evil. So many references are there comparing the eye, evil eye, with this greediness. So that is one type of heart or one type of mind. The second type is generous heart, a heart or a mind which is sound, which is healthy, which is willing to give freely to the needy people, to God, to God's ministry, and all those good virtues are there in that person. So that is the second part. So in Matthew 16, 19 and 20, we see two places, the earth and the heaven, where we are accumulating our health, our wealth and our treasures. In the second part in Matthew 6th chapter, the 21st verse and up to 23rd, two types of minds or hearts. One is stingy, greedy mind, and the second type of heart or mind is generous, liberal, benevolent, freely giving to the poor and needy and to God and God's ministry. That type of eye we should have, that not an evil eye. So that is what Jesus Christ is explaining in this Matthew 6th chapter. And the third is two masters we have seen. The third is two masters. One is God and the other one is Mammon. Here God is telling very clearly in verse 24, Matthew 6 chapter 24, no one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and Mammon. So two masters are here. One is God and the other one is the money, the Mammon. So very clearly Christ is telling, you cannot serve God and Mammon. So these two masters are there, that we should always remember, that we cannot serve God and the Mammon at a time. That is all evil one, that is from Satan. Here we should remember some few important principles, few things. Number one is money is not valuable. That is we have to learn. So many times we think that money is very valuable. Money is nothing in God's sight. Money is not valuable. Your relationship with God and your relationship with family and friends is valuable. That we should remember always. Money will be here for one day and tomorrow it will fly away. And that is not permanent. Money will not stay with us. It will go. One day that fellow will be very rich and the next time he will become very poor. So that is all not God's way. The valuable things in our life is our relationship with God and with our family. That is very, very important and that is very valuable thing we have to remember. And love and oneness is valuable in the family. So family and finances we are discussing. So many families are being broken and disturbed because of this money matters only. Because we value money. But clearly Jesus Christ is telling, do not lay up treasures for yourselves on this earth. That is very important principle we have to learn. Our relationships are very valuable and they are very important. In Matthew 6:19, the underlining word is, do not lay up for yourselves. Yourselves is the underlining thing we have to think. We can accumulate wealth, we can earn money, we can get so much of wealth, but that should not be for ourselves. That is for others, for God's ministry, for God's purpose. If we have that motive, if we have that attitude towards money, then all our perspective will be changed. Whenever we think of earning money, we all think of that is for me, for my children, for my family, and all those things. But Jesus' teaching is entirely different. Do not lay up treasures for yourselves. That is very, very important. We have to earn money, we can earn money, we can become rich. And the main purpose of that, what Jesus Christ is telling is, do not lay up, do not earn, do not accumulate wealth for yourselves on this earth. We can earn and we have to give it for the extension of the kingdom of God. That is our, that should be our main motive and that our main purpose. And this money is a very spiritual force, very powerful thing. Mammon. That God is here, Matthew, Jesus Christ is comparing or contrasting God with money. So you can think how powerful it is. Even 10 rupees also, it's a very powerful force on us. That we should remember. If I give you 10 rupees just for lending some time, you ask for 10 rupees and you forgot, nobody will forget, even the giver or the receiver. But 10 rupees is a small amount. But whenever I remember you or whenever I saw you anywhere in the church or anything, first thing I remember is the 10 rupees only. I have given him on that day the 10 rupees, but he has not repaid it. So that type of force is there in that mammon. But if we have changed our attitude and our mind, then everything in our world will be very happy and very peaceful. Everything will be changed. So we should not love money. Even in Timothy's letter, love of money is idolatry. Very clearly, God is telling in the scriptures. Love of money. We can earn money, we can use the money, we can think anything, but that loving money and greedy and we all our life, all our time, everything, leaving the family, everything, if we go after earning money, then that is an idolatry. That is what Bible is telling. So these things we have to remember. Two places, earth and heaven. We should not accumulate wealth on earth, and accumulation of wealth or money should be in heaven only. And the second thing is two minds or two hearts. One is a generous, liberal mind, giving mind, and the other one is darkness, that is greedy, that is stingy. And the third thing is two masters we have. We cannot serve two masters at a time. We cannot serve God and mammon. So we have to leave the money, we have to leave that idolatry of loving money, and we should always concentrate on God and His values, His love. So money is not valuable. That one thing we should always remember. Our relationships are very, very important and they are very valuable. So love and oneness in the family is very valuable. Though in this 19th verses to almost 24 verses, we see the right attitude towards money, how our motive should be. Then quickly, just I will share the summary or what is 4 verses from Matthew. That is, we need things to live. The next verses 32 and 33, that God is telling, we need things to live. And God provides these things for us. That is very important. We should have that trust, we should have that faith that God will provide all my needs. He is Jehovah Rohi. The Lord is my shepherd. So whatever things we need to live on this earth, those things God will provide. And acquiring things must not be the main goal of our life. That is one thing we have to observe. So acquiring and accumulating things, that should not be our main goal. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That is why verse 33 it is there. So you are living for things. If you are living for things, they will capture your heart. that 19 to 21 we have seen. And they divide our mind, that 22 and 23 verses we have seen. And they will control our will, that's 24. The two places, earth and heaven, that they will capture our heart, accumulating our wealth on this earth. And they will divide our mind. Our eye will become dark, greedy mind and liberal, generous mind. And the final thing is it will control our will. If we become slaves to the mammon, and if we going on serving money and mammon, then our will not be surrendered to God. So if we surrender our will and we take it to the control of God, then our life about money, regarding our attitude and all those motives, they will become very happy. Otherwise, the result of this will be worry. That is what the remaining verses God is telling. Worrying. So the solution is to put God first and start living with eternity's values in mind. So if we value and we have that view, eternal values, kingdom values in our mind, then we can put God first in our everyday life, and we can start living happily, that God will provide everything for us. So that is the main things just I want to share. And then some so many biblical principles are there, just another 5 minutes that is wasted in the beginning regarding this PPT. Just I want to just tell few things very quickly. The stewardship, that is our managing our resources in a biblical way. That is one thing we have to learn. And giving money to God. In some churches we say in the Old Testament the tithing is there. In Malachi 3:10 God is telling us to give the 10th portion. So that is we have to regularly give to God. And generosity, whatever the tithe we have given, that is okay. And the next thing is generously we have to give. In 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and 9, both chapters, Paul is very clearly emphasizing on giving without any murmuring, without any grudging. Generously we have to give. So those things we have to always remember in our mind. Then budgeting is also very, very important in family or personal, anywhere. Budgeting is very, very important. That we can see in Proverbs 27, 23 and 24 verses. Planning and managing our finances wisely. So budgeting is very, very important. Without any proper planning, proper budgeting, whatever we earn, whatever salary or whatever this thing in our business or anywhere, if we use it without any planning, then we will become indisciplined and irregular. So the fourth thing is budgeting is very important. Then debt, that is also very dangerous thing. So avoiding lending, taking money as borrowing money, and that should be avoided at all means. If at all we need urgently anything, that we have to pray and we have to think, and before taking any loan from others, from outside, anybody, that should be avoided, that borrowing and all those things. Then the other thing we have to concentrate is savings. So that is very, very important. If we have that practice or that habit of saving money for future and unexpected expenses, then our life will be very safe, smooth, and it will go happily. Savings is very, very important. What financial experts, what we say is, at least 20% should be saved. Whatever expenses you have, anything is there, every month, whatever you are getting, at least if you can save 20% of your earnings, your life will be happy. All your miseries for the future and unexpected exigencies. Everything will be settled if by that savings. Otherwise, we will every time we have to go for borrowing money. Then the very important aspect is contentment. This world today is we are living in a consumer world, and it is a very dangerous thing. Consumerism is creeping up very slowly and very dominatingly. So contentment is very important. In First Timothy 6, 6th chapter, some sixth verse. From sixth verse, it is Paul is writing to Timothy about contentment. Contentment is very important. We should be very careful while purchasing any household things. That is very important. Nowadays, even if you don't, you need not pay the amount. Simply pay some rupee or some 100 rupees. That motorbike or that car, that TV, that refrigerator, everything they will come and they will fix. That is the type of world now we are living in. And then every month EMI we have to pay. That is the dangerous thing. So contentment is very important. Whatever we have, whatever God has given to us, we should be satisfied with whatever God has given. So all our needs He will definitely fulfill. There is no doubt about that. But extra luxuries and extra things, that for that only nowadays all the people are getting so many loans. That contentment is very important. And another just 2-3 things I want to share is honesty. So that is very, in financial matters, dealing honestly and fairly, that is very important. That is all the references are there, you can see. And responsibility, the government, with government and our society. So paying taxes and debts and fulfilling the financial obligations, that all we have to do. That is our responsibility. And finally, whatever we are doing, all these things, we have to trust God. That is very important. Psalm 23:1. He will be our provider. He is our shepherd. He is providing everything for us. All our needs He will fulfill. So just concluding, just I want to just share is, so many things are there. Just I want to some questions like that I want to finally these borrowings and these loans that we should avoid. That is one thing. And credit cards, that is also a very dangerous thing. We have to very wisely we have to use the credit cards. Nowadays every bank, everybody, every company are anything, they will give us very simply. Nowadays they are telling you no need of any CIBIL score, your financial this thing, that thing. We will give you the credit cards like that. In that also we should wisely think and use whenever it is needed. Then chit funds are there. I don't know whether in your country this type of things are there. And this share market, that is also very dangerous thing. So many people have become bankrupt, and so many people they have committed suicide in these credit cards and these share market issues. So as God's children, we should be very careful. So this mutual funds and all these things we have to use very carefully. And this online marketing, that is also very dangerous. This Amazon and Flipkart, so many online marketing things are there. They entice us, they will attract us. with so many discounts, so many things for every festival or every some occasions. They offer so many discounts. So whatever, whether we need it or not, we are buying that unnecessarily. So in that shopping, tele shopping, online shopping, that is also we should be very careful. And this betting nowadays, this sports and I mean so many other fields also. This betting has become very dangerous thing. So in that also we have to be very careful. So whatever we have to earn money, that should be in an ethical way. That is the main thing we have to keep in our minds. So that is our time is already 11:10. So if any doubts you have, anything you want to ask, we can take 1 or 2 minutes for that, and we will close with a word of prayer. Thank you. Regarding giving, so many biblical verses are there. You can go and read First Chronicles 29th chapter and 2 Corinthians 8 and 9 chapters. You can read how we can give to God and how should we give to God. All those things are there in the Bible. Even in Proverbs also so many principles are there. That all you can study. So the final thing what Jesus Christ is telling in Acts 20:35, Acts 20 chapter verse 35, it is more blessed to give than to receive. So in the Amplified version it is saying it is more blessed, makes one happier and more to be envied to give than to receive.